Hey everyone, it's me, Tanisha Yorrick-Allen, also affectionately known as Asha Yomi. I'm the CEO and founder of Your Other Mind. What a journey. And so I wanted to come for my premiere video and introduce myself to you guys so you know who I am, you know what to expect, those type of things. Kind of like a trailer, but like more conversation. So I am a business transformation mentor and partner, and I run a really dope firm called Your Other Mind. And people always ask me like, how'd you get into it? How'd you start your business? What, like, why these names? I'm like, what's the sauce? And so I wanted today's conversation to be about the sauce, like how I got here, what inspired it, all of that. So, in addition to being like an operations excellence expert, I know, Black women winning, I am also a practicing spiritualist, gifted in a few different ways, from being able to like see spirit, hear spirit, interact with spirit, on a regular basis, whether that's through like my ancestors, my spirit guides, whatever. This is a gift that I was given in this lifetime. And so I wanted to come, and I felt like the best thing to do was to tell my story first. Before I got into dropping gems and dropping knowledge, I just wanted to share who I am. So let me tell you. Okay. So when I was 16 years old, I was involved in a kind of like a random shooting, right? I was leaving a party and I was shot. And I was shot protecting a friend, actually. And I'm on my way home, right? Like, well, not even that. Let me backtrack a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm telling this story from scratch. There's no script. There's no nothing. So let's just go with it. So I was shot when I was 16. The bullet pierced my arm, and then it, through my arm went into my side, out my back. I had liver, kidney, spine damage. So the bullet like hit my liver, it hit my kidney, and it grazed my spine on its way out. And I wasn't supposed to make it. But I remember very clearly laying on the ground, watching my friends drive, like run by and, scream and have their reactions. And I remember drifting away. So I'm laying there, the ambulance is on its way. I'm 16, I'm out at a party. I wasn't supposed to be at this party. Lied to my parents to go to this party. It's a mess. In addition to it being a mess, it was also the best night of my life. Hands down. It was the first night in a really long time that I had been out to this particular teen club at the time and seen everybody. I mean, everybody was there. Every single person you could ever see was there. Okay, so back to me. I'm lying on the ground and I'm bleeding out and I lose consciousness. I tell people that I started to cross over because that's what happened. And as I'm crossing over, I have this experience that there are no words, right? Where my grandmother comes to me and she's like, let's go. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's go, And I'm like, let's do it. And we're walking through this beautiful space and it's so bright and so pretty. And my friends tell me that on the other side, I had stopped breathing. I had stopped responding. My eyes are watering because I got lashes on. I had stopped breathing. I stopped responding, everything. But I was like introduced to this new world. Eventually, as I make my way down, I tell my grandma, I'm like, hey girl, I don't think it's the right time. I want to go back. And so I wake up. Fast forward 5 years. This incident happened. I was out of commission for maybe almost a year. 3 years missing, 3 months, missing school, a week in the hospital, recovery, had to learn how to walk again, use the bathroom again, eat again. It was a lot. And out of commission, for maybe like a year. Fast forward 5 years, I'm getting married. 23, I'm getting married, and to the man of my, like, that's not math. I don't know math. 7 years? 7 years. Okay. And I'm getting married, and, my husband, we got married, and it was really traumatic for a number of reasons. I had some really interesting friends at the time, but I get married. And then right after that, I have my first nervous breakdown. Apparently, from the time I was 16 to the time of I was 23, I had been having a high functioning form of PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, that had basically gone undiagnosed. So I was crying every day. I was panic attacking every day. It was a mess, right? I'm in college. I'm newly married. It's a lot going on. What am I getting to? In my story, I wanted to share that I entered therapy for some time, and I was in therapy. It was cool. It was great. And then it wasn't. Then it started to feel like a limitation. Then it started to feel like a diagnosis was living with me versus just having a diagnosis. And so what I did is I made the decision to exit therapy. And it was the best decision I could have ever made in my life. And so here's what I'm getting to. How did I become this person who talks about soul energetics and spirits and ancestors and things? Well, that incident when I was 16 changed the trajectory of my life. It gave me this exposure to this other world of spirits and guides that were always around me, always protecting me, and they had answers. So when I made the decision to quit therapy, I had just joined my tradition. I was 25, and I was like, I'm doing something different. And so I prayed a lot to God. I talked to my ancestors. I danced a lot. I moved. I got present in my body. And I realized that there was a whole nother brain in my mind. So like I had this conditioned brain, this limited one, and there was this whole other reality of power and presence and attention that I had not even tapped into. And that is how Your Other Mind was born. I realized that we tend to be conditioned and limited by our fears and by what society tells us and what they condition us to be, whatever they put on us. And we operate from that. But what would it be like to tell a bunch of people and for them to know that all of your issues, all of your problems exist over here on this plane, but there's this whole other part of your mind, right, of your being that has like all the answers and all of the truths of spirit, God, and source, right? And I do say those things separately. God, spirit, source. Like God is God, period. I don't use the language universe interchangeably. I think the universe is a part of God, but God, I'm talking about her separate. But there's this whole other mind that if you were to tap into your godness, your being, your soul, if you were to tap into that, it would make life a lot different for you. You would have the ability to navigate things easier. You would make decisions easier. You would feel more confident. You would pull in all the support systems and people that you needed at the perfect time without any effort or work. That's what I figured out. And so I started my company to help people also figure that out. And then just to give you some background, I have degrees in marketing and I have degrees in managerial sciences. And I've been using my degrees for the better part of like 10 years to make a career in operations, and specifically operations excellence, which is strategic inputs and outputs to like make the vision of the company bigger, more efficient, more streamlined. We're the how-to. And we talk to every piece of the company to make sure that these things happen. And so once I realized that I had these gifts from spirit, I had this idea about this other piece of my consciousness that had not been tapped into or used, and that everyone has this, I put them together. And so when I say I'm a business transformation mentor, I mean that I help people make seismic shifts that would not happen, right? Any operations person would tell you, or salesperson would tell you, you plan 5 to 10% year over year growth. When it comes to transformation work, I am pulling on your spirit. And I'm saying, give me all those desires. Give me all those ideas. Give me. Don't shy away from any of them. And let's throw it on the board and let's make it. Let's plan for it. Let's strategize for it. What support do you need? What gifts do you need to use? What pieces of your identity do you need to let free? Like, who are you? And then who do you want to be? And let me show you how to connect the two. Because you have this mind, and then you have your other mind. So, who are you? Who do you want to be? Let's bridge the gap. And that's the work that I do. And so I'm telling you the story because on this channel, I'm going to talk about a lot of fears. I'm going to talk about a lot of things that people don't think of, and a lot of ideas and concepts that people don't think of. And I'm doing it to challenge you to think different. I'm doing it to challenge you to let go of what we hold on to so dearly that really can be taken away like that. And so if life can be taken away from me, right, a 16-year-old at a party living my best life, in a blink of an eye, what do you think it means for you to be living on this planet, living in this earth, and not like living your full potential, or not taking a stab at every little random idea that you have? Who told you you only had to choose one? Who told you you had to settle? And who told you that it was impossible? Because I know that anything that we want, anything that we want to be, want to receive, is possible. You just have to tap in and be brave enough to do so. So the way that I guide people is through targeting their fears. I have a really, really interesting relationship with fear. I'll tell you guys about it later. But it's been a part of my life for a long time. And I just tackle things. I just find the courage and I do it. And I believe that we all have that, right? And you have to name it to get to it. So I wanted to share my story. And, you know, if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you want to, you know, put the questions in the comments, and let's get to this work and let's have a good time doing it. I'm so happy to share space with all of you, each of you that are watching, and I'm so excited to see where this goes. So I'll see you soon. All right. Be well, be well, be well. Talk to you later. Peace.